All right, wellness challengers, I just wanted to send a video out about a couple things that I have kind of learned over the last couple days and that I've heard from some other people that are also doing the challenge. And I also just wanted to say, Tara has always been the nutrition guru per se. I'm not so much. I mean, I know your very basics, of course, of what's good for you and what's bad for you. So one reason I wanted to do this challenge is one, so that I could do it and learn. So thank you for being patient with me, helping me learn as well. And I would say after the first 2 days, I've learned a ton. And the first thing I've learned is that I eat a lot of fat, like a lot of fat, and I don't need to add fat into anything. I have heard from a lot of people that that is also the case for them. So that has been, it's just been, like I said, the whole point of me doing this for you guys is to learn. And there's fat in a lot of things. So we'll discuss that if you are having a hard time keeping your fat intake at your percentage. Another thing that I have heard and also been struggling with a little bit is not hitting protein levels either. And I certainly, if you're trying to eat more protein, a lot of that comes with more fat. So there's a couple of things I wanted to go over as well. So I would say those are the main things that I've heard. Getting your carbohydrate in, I think I don't think too many people have had issues with that. I would say I've had a little bit of issues, but only because I'm cutting out specifically tortillas, if you were in my 7 a.m. class today, which you guys are totally fine eating as a secondary option. I just eat them as like my primary option all the time. So I'm trying to eliminate that for right now so that I learn about other things to go to, and then I can put it back in. And same thing with cheese. I'm trying to eliminate that completely, but that's also a protein option for you guys as well. So first thing, fat. If you are struggling with fat, I would pay a lot of attention to how much, when you think you're eating protein, how much fat is in that. So for example, the chicken apple sausage that a lot of people like, I also love it, but there's almost as much fat as protein in there. I think it's like 11 grams to 15 or 16. So pay close attention to that. For some options that I have found for meat that are pretty good, high in protein, low in fat, there's some deli meat. Protein is like 9 grams, total fat 1 gram. When you're buying deli meat, or really anything that's necessarily packaged, if you look at the ingredients, ideally most of the ingredients are, natural turkey breast water. And then oftentimes you'll see contains less than 2% of, as long as your main ingredients are kind of those 2 or 3 ingredients, and then everything else is less than 2%, and that's a pretty good guide. So right here, chicken is of course high protein, depending as long as you look and see, but 1 gram of fat to 26 grams of protein. Let's keep that one. Another one is this lamb. This is for stew meat, but we also get some just like small lamb steaks. And this one, fat 6, which isn't great, but it's certainly not terrible, to protein 23 grams. Some of the ground stuff, even if you get the lean stuff, it's still almost like 10 grams of fat to 20 grams of protein. So if you're actually looking to keep your fat down and increase your protein, you're gonna wanna look at some of that. Another gem that I found that I just thought I would share, it's not super cheap, but you can get 3 meals out of it probably, and gentlemen too, but is this Kevin's Natural Food. They have a couple different, there's a Korean barbecue, there's a teriyaki, and there's a cilantro and lime. And really, the ingredients, and there's no added sugars, or there's 1 gram of added sugar. So in the grand scheme of things, not terrible. but protein is 23 grams and total fat is 4 grams. And it's super easy. I'm all about easy. Super easy to make. You can microwave it. It's not the best microwaved. Oven is obviously a little bit better, but it's an option and it's simple. I'm all for simple. For those of you looking for some carbohydrate, like easy carbohydrates, such as myself trying to find something other than tortillas, even though, again, it is still a secondary option for you. These little express sweet baked potatoes, you just basically throw them in the microwave for 5 minutes and then they're ready to rock. So that's an easy way, which I love. There's also these. Again, I'm all about easy. Rice, you can get brown rice and quinoa in these. You can get a lot of different things with these, different kinds. This is a decent amount of carbohydrate as well, if you're looking for that. That's an easy way to, like, I don't know, throw it in your salad. Because I think, as you'll notice, you put like a huge thing of spinach on your plate, and it's like, oh, hey, this is 40 calories. And you're like, oh, shoot, I need some more. So that, I always like to put that in my salad. I put everything in my salad, meat, rice, and then all the veggies. And let's see, again, if you're trying, like myself, not to have so much fat, I would, cooking in olive oil is like, the olive oil that I have is like 14 grams. I'm not saying that all of them are that way, just happened to be what I had in my cabinet at the moment. But butter, this spreadable butter is only 9 grams, which makes a difference when it's 5 grams and, you know, a small little tablespoon. So I have been cooking in butter instead of olive oil. That's been helping me not be 500 grams over my fat intake. And then lastly, for protein, a really great option for protein and zero fat is, yes, it is a secondary option, which we're going to go over that here in a moment. Greek fat-free Greek yogurt. I found an Oikos one that says anything but plain. It's fat-free. It doesn't say fat-free on it. Oh, it does, actually. I just didn't see that. I just looked at the ingredients. 0 fat to 18 grams of protein and no added sugars. There's some sugar in there. So here's what I'm going to say about the secondary and primary options. Yes, the non-fat Greek yogurt is technically a secondary option. Tortillas are technically a secondary option. If you are someone, for example, like myself, I don't hate eggs, but I don't really love them. I don't really love the way they make me feel for breakfast. So for example, maybe something easy for me to switch to get my carbs, to get my protein is like on a piece of bread with some avocado for my fat and then some kind of meat, some kind of deli meat or whatever it might be. That for me might be a better option and it might be more of a go-to for me than eggs or an egg bake, because one, that takes a long time for me to make, and I don't really like eggs. I am trying to stress this to be something that's going to be, something, if it seems to work for you, that is not just something that's temporary. So if you can find something that works for you and it happens to be a secondary option for one meal out of your day and you lose 2 points, then I think that's probably better than finding something that's primary. It's not going to even work for you once we're done with this challenge. You can make up your 2 points by being nice to someone else and getting it in another capacity. So those are my 2 cents. I hope that they helped and hope everything's going well.